What's up, guys? Welcome back. I'm back here at Mercedes-Benz of Bonita Springs, checking out this brand new 2024 Mercedes-Benz GLE53 AMG Coupe. Whew, that's a mouthful, right? Beautiful vehicle, beautiful spec, and I'm going to take you on a complete tour of this vehicle, starting with the powertrain, the design, the interior technology, and the test drive. So if you like watching videos like this, don't forget, check out the rest of my channel, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and don't forget to turn on that bell notification ring bell. Now let's get back to this. This is the GLE Coupe, which is not to be confused with the GLE SUV. Share a lot of the same components, especially as far as the powertrain, the drivetrain, the interior, but completely different looking vehicles. Now, this concept was not started by Mercedes-Benz. Actually, the first one coming up with this kind of a sporty SUV was BMW X6. That still continues until this day. The GLE was introduced as a coupe in 2015 model year as a 450, then 63. Then we had the GLE43 with a V6 engine. Now we have the GLE53 with the inline 6-cylinder engine, and it's probably one of the best powertrains that I've ever driven and reviewed. And at the end of this video, I'm going to take you for a spin in it. But let's start with the design of this vehicle. If you like the color, this is new for 2024, and it's called the Alpine Gray. I like how this hood is sculpted with those two raises right here in the middle, creating that better airflow, better aerodynamics for this sporty SUV. Now, a Falterbach AMG, that's the tag that you have right on top. That's the badge right here. And of course, you have the huge Mercedes star, AMG grille with those vertical slots, AMG badging on the side. Brand new lights, they're updated for 2024. They're still multi-beam LED lights with this new design as far as the daytime running lights, and we have the night package, so that's updated. The trim as far as the front splitter right here, this is all piano black, and you have the more aggressive styling with the AMG package. Now, this is all not only for the looks, this is also functional right here. Therefore, you have those air curtains on the side that helps with the airflow and better dynamics of the vehicle. But like I mentioned before, my favorite powertrain is underneath the hood. And underneath the hood, you'll find a 3-liter inline-6 turbocharged engine that has been AMG enhanced, so not hand-built, but tuned by AMG. It also has a mild hybrid assist that makes sure that everything is running smoothly without putting a strain on the engine itself, so it can focus on doing the best it can as far as the performance on it. 429 horsepower and 413 foot-pounds of torque made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission with pedal shifters. And as far as the rest of the hood setup, or underneath the hood setup, you have the hood struts, you have the sound insulation, you also have the double latches right up on top here. And while the styling of the 2024 differs from 2015, it still remains true to its core, which means it has a long hood, a sloping roof line, a very sporty and aggressive looking SUV. Now, this particular one has everything color coordinated like it should be on the high-end trim. And as far as the wheel and tire package, we have the 22 AMG rims that have been covered in this satin black color. Behind the rims, you'll see the huge rotors and AMG calipers. Very nice. You need that for that extra stopping power. Air suspension and Turbo 4MATIC Plus badge, and what that plus stands for, which means that they can send up to 100% of its power to the rear wheels. Now, everything around the windows have been blacked out, and the wheels are both 22s in front and the back, but the tire size is 285 in the front and 325 in the back. Now, as far as the mirrors, you have the turn signal in the mirror, a side view camera, and the blind spot assist. And of course, we have this keyless go feature, which if you want to lock this vehicle, as long as the key is somewhere on you, you just touch that door handle and do the opposite when you put your hand inside of here. Now, this is the side profile, but as we go around the corner, this back end kind of pulls everything together very nicely. It still has this sleek and sporty styling. And we have those huge taillights here. This is the brand new and updated unit that includes your taillights, turn signals, reverse lights. At the bottom here, you have the GLE53, and right here you have dual exhaust. Now you have the AMG exhaust, and this is a dual exhaust on each side. Also the diffuser style bumper, very nice and aggressive, and the reflector lights. You have the AMG badge on the other side. Right underneath this Mercedes star is where the camera is, so it's nicely hidden from the elements. And you also have this trunk-lit spoiler and a very thin stripe of lights. And that is, of course, for your third brake light. And let me see if I can actually open this gate with the motion. Come on, it did it once. Maybe. All right, well, the key fob to the rescue. Push the button and it's gonna open up the gate. Now it is a power gate. I won't be able to fit underneath here, so I hope this is adjustable, and then you have the close and lock buttons on the gate itself. And right here, an interesting feature: if the vehicle was too high up, or if you had the heavy item, you can actually lower it down to the desired settings, so you can get your cargo inside without a problem. Underneath the floorboard, you have the spare tire, tools to remove it with, of course your jack, and then the seats can be folded down. Now you have the 20-40-20 or 40-20-40, and here's the 20. It can be folded down by itself, or you can fold down both seats. I kind of wish that we had this power buttons right here to do that, but if you're tall enough, you can actually do it yourself, and this is going to be how much room you'll have. Now, the roominess is pretty good. Actually, the trunk space is very deep. It's not very tall because of the design of the vehicle, but you can still fit some stuff in here. This is pretty much, it's going to show you of how much room you're going to have. That cargo cover, which, you know, by the way, is foldable and removable, so if you don't need it, you can take it out. And before we get inside, let's check out this rear door panel. Very impressive. This is all nicely covered with leather contrast stitching. Even have this carbon fiber trim Burmaster stereo. And then of course you have your window control and a slight storage at the bottom of the door. Nothing crazy as far as the door sill. This is an aluminum door sill, and a slight bump in the middle, not as big as you've seen on some of the other vehicles. Now you have the netting in the back of both seats for driver and passenger, and in the middle console you'll have the vents and the USB Type-C. Kind of wish that at this price point you'd have your own climate control settings, but not on this one. Now you have the diamond quilted stitching, very nice design of the seats. You have the Nappa leather with Alcantara, and then you have this middle armrest with cup holders, so I guess they went back to the regular style cup holders instead of the ones that were sticking out. And this is the interior of it. One other thing to show you probably from here, has got a best angle, is this big panoramic sunroof. And let's see if I have any room sitting behind myself. And as always, the concern with those sporty vehicles is that you're not going to have enough headroom in the back. That's definitely not the case here. The way that seats are positioned and the roof is there, you can see that I have about an inch and a half. I'm 5'11" and a half, almost 6 feet tall, and I have plenty of shoulder room as well, and surprisingly plenty of knee room. And that's most likely due to the design of the seats. As you can see, they're indented in here, giving me probably about an inch and a half in front of my knees before I would hit it. So I can definitely see myself riding in the back here comfortably. Let's not forget about the door sound check. Boom. And of course, Mercedes does not disappoint, the best or nothing. And here's what we have on this front door panel. So in addition to what we've seen in the back, the Burmeister stereo, you have the 3 memory seat settings, as well as you have the heated seats, ventilated seats, and the ability to adjust the passenger side seat, lock on lock, mirror door controls and the window controls. And then down here in this little storage, you have the gate release. Now the AMG lit seal, now you can't see it now because it's very bright, but it lights up, and a very nicely contoured seat. So when I first saw it, I go like, well, they're not going to be very comfortable because their bolsters are too big, but that's not the case. Actually, they are comfortable. And of course, you still have this diamond quilted stitching, you have the Alcantara inserts, AMG, and a very comfortable headrest in here. Overall, the interior is super nice and sporty. Let me get inside and I'll show you the rest of it. We'll just take a quick glimpse of this interior before I show you what's what. And some people say that Mercedes should have gone and updated the interior, especially the screens with this new technology that they have. We've seen them on the new S-Class and the C-Class and the EQS and all that stuff. Well, the EQS got the hyper screen, which is crazy. But let's take a look and see. So first of all, the dashboard, this is nicely wrapped in leather, contrast stitching right here. You have the same carbon fiber trim, just part of the optional equipment. I'm going to tell you that at the end of this video, what was added to this particular one. I like the vents. They're kind of rectangular with the rounded corners, 4 vents right here, and then you have 2 12.3-inch screens. Well, let's get this thing started because it's getting hot in here. Here's your start stop button. There you go. Love the sound of the exhaust, even though I have not turned on the loud exhaust yet. But let's take a look at the steering wheel. So Alcantara leather, thicker in the right spots. You have those huge pedal shifters in the back, like you should on a sporty vehicle. A very small center in here with a big Mercedes star and a variety of buttons on both sides. Now let's take a look at them. So first of all, with Mercedes, you can control what's going on in the screens by using the top portion of the steering wheel here. So this controls what's going on in the instrument cluster, and this controls what's going on the other screen and your infotainment system. Now you also have the cruise control settings on this side, and you have the volume, favorite button, phone, and voice control settings on the other side. In addition to, you have dials here at the bottom. Those are multifunction dials. First of all, this is easier because this controls the drive modes. So we have the Comfort, we have the Sport Plus, we have the Sport, and we have the Individual, and we have the Snow mode here as well. Now, there's more function on this dial right here, which is pretty cool. Actually, you can see that you can actually adjust the height of the vehicle, AMG dynamics, traction control, suspension, and the transmission, the gearing of this vehicle. You can also turn off your automatic start-stop button. Now, you can select this and it's going to stay in its place, and you can play around with the bottom portion, which again, we have exhaust, gearing, height, AMG dynamics, traction control, suspension, and back to exhaust. If you want to turn on the exhaust, I'm not sure if you heard it, you can see the background of it became red. This is your exhaust here. So anything that you want to control, like for example, we want to raise this vehicle up, see it's showing that it's raising, it is within your reach. You don't have to look for it in the instrument cluster, infotainment system, or any other part of the vehicle. It's right here on the steering wheel. I'm actually going to lower it down, and I'm going to put this vehicle in the sport mode. I think this is the most civilized one. Now let's take a look at the instrument cluster right here. Several different options are available, so you can see you can customize it. This is classic. We also have sport and super sport. Let's check out the super sport. This is if you're racing, or I mean, it's just like the cool display. Look at this. This is your RPMs. This is your tachometer, and once I rev it up, boom, it goes up. You also have your torque on the left-hand side, horsepower on the right-hand side, speedometer right on top, and you can go back to the classic display if you like to. Understated navigation assistance. Here's your off-road display. Not sure how often you'll take this vehicle off-road, but if you do, you have your pitch, you have your roll, you have your compass right here, you have your altitude, we're at 69 feet above sea level, and that's it. You have your longitude, latitude, and everything that you need to take this vehicle off the beaten path. 22-inch wheels and performance tires, I would not recommend it. Well, not at least for some serious off-roading. You also have your service display that basically tells you your service is doing 365 days. This is a brand new vehicle. You have your temperature as far as your transmission oil, coolant, engine oil level, etc. So you have kind of your diagnostic on board. Now let's move on to the infotainment system, and we've seen that before so many times. This MBUS, super nice, super easy to use, several different ways to control it. You can control it via touchscreen like I'm doing right now, control it on the steering wheel, control it through the trackpad, or control it via voice by using the phrase, "Hey Mercedes," which I'm not sure if this is set up, and if it is, I'll need to turn it off. It's not set up. Okay, so your navigation, that's built in, really nice navigation, takes up the entire screen. It says where to, you can control it by voice. Your phone, you can connect the device, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, both available. You also have, well, standard, I should say, your radio, FM, AM, Sirius XM. Scrolling down, you have your media, apps, comfort. Here's your seat kinetics, heat settings right here for your seats, automatic seat positioning. This we've seen at Mercedes. Now I'm almost 6, so let's say I'm 5'11", you know, as far as the inches. Start positioning. Let's see, I actually like to drive a little bit more comfortable than this. The steering wheel way too close. So anyways, you can make adjustments manually. To me, this doesn't make too much sense, but I guess, you know, it might work for some people. I'm actually gonna move this all back. By the way, I didn't mention that the steering wheel is power as far as the tilt and telescoping, so that's a good place to mention this. And let's go back. You can reset everything. Driver, passenger, that's fine. All right, and let's go back to your comfort settings, and we have the ambient light. So Mercedes has been big on that, the ambient lighting, and here you can see that, like right underneath here you have this little purple color, but I can change this color to one of the 64 different colors. You can see it's changing right now, lighter, brighter. It looks really sharp at night because there's several different places in this vehicle that it's illuminated, like underneath this carbon fiber trim over here. Then alongside too, the edges right here, this is all illuminated, making it look really, really sharp at night. You can also select the multicolor display, kind of the animation, and that's your ambient lighting. You can select different effects, greeting, climate, multicolor animation. And you can, if you don't know what it is, you hit that information button, and it's going to tell you the ambient light welcomes you, or you get into a vehicle with the distinctive color animation. That's turned on right now. And go back to your home screen. Here's your off-road pages. Now we've seen at the same display in the instrument cluster, so we're not going to go through that. We also have the downhill assist, and then you have your trail camera, which is an interesting feature because, as you can see, I'm turning the wheels, and as I'm going here, you can see what's going on underneath the vehicle. Now, how is this happening? There's a camera that records it and projects it back on the screen, so you can see if you're going over any kind of boulders or anything like this. So you can see the direction, 175 degrees south, 69 as far as your altitude, and then we can go back. Now this is a good way to demonstrate the rear view camera, and this is what we have. See the trajectory lines right here, they're moving as I'm backing up this vehicle in this parking. And then you have the regular, this is your regular rear view camera. We also have, of course, the 360, which I'm not sure. I think I am in the wrong settings here. We're going to go back, come back to this camera. Here's your settings as far as the vehicle. So your assistant, vehicle light system info, collision avoidance, camera. Let's take a look at this camera settings. Okay. So you have the GPS-based activation. So no positions are available. But you know, it's interesting because if you have a certain spot that you want to turn on the camera every time you drive through it, it will do that for you. Now we can open the camera cover, which I mentioned that was underneath this Mercedes star in the back. And then vehicle settings, as far as driving settings, automatic gas station search, car wash mode. So what that means that if you get low on gas, this is going to start searching for gas stations. Car wash mode, this is pretty cool. I've talked about it with different Mercedes. So it raises the vehicle so you don't scrape the bottom of it, folds in the mirrors. Make sure that the windows and roof is closed, Parktronic is off, and the rain sensors are off, so the windshield wipers are not going off and the parking sensors are not beeping, driving you crazy on the inside. And of course the smartphone integration, so you can connect your vehicle to your device via Bluetooth. So that's basically your infotainment system. Now let me go back into reverse. Yeah, so I was in the wrong mode. This one also gives you the top-down view with kind of the safety perimeter that is going to show you this vehicle is going to hit. Like, for example, right now I have the tripod next to it. All right, am I going to be able to clear it? It's getting close, but yeah, at least I see that it's there. Coming back to the front, you have the front view camera, several different angles. You have the rear view camera. You can also see the vehicle from and the outside. You can spin it around from the other side. And then you have the top-down view. So camera auto mode not active right now. And this is your parking assist. So you can drive forward. It's going to look for the parking spaces. This is your infotainment system, and down here you already mentioned the shape of the vents, really nice looking. You have some hard buttons for those of you who don't like to go through the system to find out what the temperature is. Here's your temperature control. See, I'm adjusting the temperature. And then you have your menu, fan speed, automatic, front window defogger, rear window defroster, air recirculating button, AC rest and sync button, so you can sync it, you can have it separate. Now piano black cover right here opens up, revealing your wireless charging for the phone, USB Type-C ports, cup holders. Now this one we don't have. I don't see this. I don't think this one has that heated and ventilated cup holders, but that option is available. And of course this big trackpad that we've seen on the Mercedes-Benz for a while, your mode settings, your volume settings. And then, of course, you have your vehicle settings that the functions are turned on immediately on the screen. So instead of going through the menu, you can go to the car wash mode, downhill speed reduction, lower the vehicle Parktronic, active lane keep assist, active steering wheel assist, active stop and go assist, and interior projection, towaway alarm, and all settings. So you can go here by simply clicking that vehicle button. And of course, navigation, map, radio, media, telephone, your volume, nice. A palm rest here, and this is your height control for the vehicle. Lower it and raise it from here. Push the button and you get into the storage, which you have an additional USB Type-C port. This is the bottom portion of the interior. Right on top you have the frameless mirror, and you still don't have that camera mirror, which I wish it did have it. You also have the controls for your lights. This is all LEDs, of course, Mercedes Me, SOS, and then you have the controls for your panoramic sunroof. One push button operation, and this huge panel slides back, giving you plenty of air inside of the cabin. And then you can also control that separately as far as the cover for it. You have the illuminated mirrors on both sides. And this is your interior of this super cool sporty SUV. I can't wait to take it for a spin, but let's touch on the price a little bit. So there are only two different trim levels available for 2024 GLE Coupe. That's a 53 and a 63S. Now the 53 Coupe has a starting MSRP, like on this one, of $89,800, but it's really easy to get over 100 grand. Let me give you an example. This particular one has an MSRP of $104,000, 660, and that includes your MANUFAKTUR Alpine gray color for $1,750, AMG black exclusive Nappa leather with diamond stitching, AMG carbon fiber trim. The leather is $1,800, the carbon fiber trim is $1,700. AMG carbon fiber trim is, well, that's the same thing, $1,750. I hope they didn't add it twice. Then you have the performance steering wheel in Nappa leather with microfiber, and that's $500. 22-inch wheels are $3,350. $200 for heated washer system. That's interesting. Soft closed doors. Let's see if it has it. There you go. Pushes it in. And we have the driver's assistance package. That's $1,950. Night package. That AMG night package that includes the front splitter, front and rear apron trim strips, window trim, exterior mirror housing, and roof rails in high gloss black, AMG exhaust system, and twin tailpipes in black chrome. $750, well spent. And then we have the DC5 acoustic comfort package. That's interesting. That has the increased cabin insulation, windshield with infrared reflecting film, side windows with acoustic and infrared absorbing film, and that's $1,100. $104,660. But of course, that's still a bargain and comparing to the big boy, the AMG GLE53S, starting at a $130,000, $129,050. I'm sorry, but that's before destination. So it's going to hit over $131,000 once you get the destination. What you get for it? Well, you get the bigger, more powerful engine, 627 pound-feet of torque and 603 horsepower, 3.7 0 to 60, which is insane. This is about 4.5 on this one. To me, this would be plenty. Let me know what you think. More power? More good? Maybe. Well, let's take it for a spin. I like the sound of it. This is the insulated cabin, and once I turn on that performance exhaust, which I'm going to do right now, there you go. You have nicely speaker enhanced sound coming into the cabin, of course. And that's what you want. Well, let's check out how tight the turning radius is. So let's see. We have steering wheel all the way to the left, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 of a parking spot. Wow, this thing, like, it turns on the dime. It really does, like almost around its own axle, like those taxi cabs in London where they have the set of wheels coming up from underneath it. You know, here's another thing, visibility. Okay, the back visibility is horrible. I mean, that's to be expected from the vehicle that is shaped in the way that this one is shaped. You know, but if you look around, you know, not bad as far as the visibility for the back. Of course, you have all of this assistance programs like the blind spot assist and the lane keep assist, so you should be okay. Now, it definitely would take full advantage of this digital rear view mirror. If it had it, I definitely would recommend it if that's an option for a vehicle as such. Now, I have it in the sport mode. I'm going to put it in the Sport Plus to test it out in this most aggressive mode. I hope to have enough room on the road to check this out. And it looks like we're green. We're green to go. We're at 0, guys. Right here, 0. Let's go. Wow. And 65, 68 miles per hour, literally in an instant. This is really quick. This would be plenty quick for me. Yes, the 63 sounds amazing. It's a lot faster. It's a lot more expensive too. So I don't know if it's worth that almost $40,000 upgrade for the engine. Now it's got a very aggressive lane keep assist. Before I put that turn signal on, it was just kind of pulling me back. Hey, stay in your lane, stay where you belong. And here, the inline six actually sounds really good as well. I hope they're not going to go to 4 cylinders on these. And with the Sport Plus, yeah, the gears are being held on to a lot longer than the regular mode. And you have this cool rev matching. I don't know if you can hear it, but it kind of follows me around. But overall, a comfortable drive. Now I'm going to flip it over to the Sport mode, which I can feel, like literally feel the vehicle relax a little bit. It's not as in your face all the time. Sport mode and the Mercedes is my go-to mode. I can also do it to comfort, and it quiets down quite a bit. Now especially, you know, we have this acoustic package that lets very little sound inside the cabin, but if I needed it, yeah, it still goes. It's just not as aggressive as, of course, the Sport Plus mode. Now this vehicle has the air suspension, the adaptive suspension, you know, different gearing for the transmission and different mapping for the engine in different modes. So I mean, you have the ability to really adjust it, and those adjustments are not just for decorations. Like you see some of the vehicles that have the Sport mode, and you know, all it does, it makes the exhaust a little bit louder. Not in case of Mercedes. This is a true engineered system. Interestingly, the GLE53 AMG Coupe was the very first vehicle that I reviewed on this channel 3 years ago. And I still like it. It's still one of my favorite sporty SUVs on the market. I have to go back to the X6 and kind of do a comparison because it's been a while since I've done one. But overall, a very good vehicle. So thank you for watching, guys. If that was interesting, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell notification, ring bell so you won't miss any of the content that's coming out. I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.